Hey everybody, welcome to Welch's Math class once again, and today we are moving into module number 2 where we spend a little bit of time talking about decimals and all those kinds of good things. Let's start out by looking at the place value chart with decimals, and then we're going to talk about rounding decimals a little bit. What I want you to capture off your video right here, and if you want to pause the video, do that. What I want you to capture is the place value. As far as decimals go. And so what we have here is a number 2,158 point, or the decimal can be read and then we have, if we say point, it would be 0.6376, or we could say 2,158 and 6,376 ten-thousandths. That's the way we would read that number. Notice the place values we have marked here. We have the decimal right here, and then directly to the left of the decimal is the ones place and the whole numbers, and then the tens place, and then the hundreds place, and then the thousands place. Now when you come over to the right side of the decimal, you actually start off with the tenths. Okay, the digit here represents the tenths place of the ones. So this is tenths, then we have hundredths, then thousandths, then ten-thousandths. Now, they go out, the place value chart goes out in either direction forever and ever, and so essentially they mirror one another, except for the one thing where on the left side it starts with the ones, and on the right side of the decimal it starts with the tenths, but then it mirrors hundredths, hundreds, and so on right on out the gate. And so what you see here is our digit, for example, 5 here is in the tens place, but our digit 6 here is in the tenths place. So it's important that we're able to recognize the place value of a decimal. Now I want to take a minute, and you can pause the video if you like and go ahead and capture this information. I want to go ahead and talk about rounding though, and talk about rounding the number we have here. Let's say we were going to round this number. First of all, let's say we're going to round it to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so what I've got over here to the other side of the board, if you want to capture that as well, is a review of rounding. First, when we're rounding, find the digit that we're going to round and draw a line behind it. If the first digit behind the line is 5 or more, then we'll add 1 to the digit we're rounding. If the first digit behind the line is less than 5, then we'll leave the digit that's being rounded the same. We won't change it at all. So let's apply those rules here to what we're trying to do in terms of rounding our number here to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so first of all, let's locate the hundredth. Okay, so if we look, there's the ones place. This is the tenths, this is the hundredth. So I'm going to draw a line right behind that. Now I'm going to look to the right of that, or I'm going to look behind it, and I'm going to see a 7 there. Now that's more than 5, so that tells me to get to the hundredth, I'm going to add 1 to this 3 and bump it up to a 4. Now this is where it's a little different than rounding whole numbers. Once we bump that to a 4, everything behind the line drops. We don't put zeros back there, we just drop. Now everything to the left or in front of the digit that we rounded does stay the same, just like in whole numbers. Okay? So when we round this to the nearest hundredth, we get 2,158 and 64 hundredths. 64 hundredths. Let's take this same number now, and this time, instead of rounding to the hundredth, let's round this number to the nearest, let's round it to the nearest tenth. Let's round it to the nearest tenth. Okay, so first of all, this is the ones place. Come behind the decimal, here's the tenth right here. So we're going to draw a line behind that. Now when we draw that line behind it, we're trying to decide. We're going to add 1 to this digit, the 6, that's in the tenths place, or we're going to add 1 to it, or we're going to leave it alone. Well, when we look, the first digit behind the line is less than 5, so the digit that we're rounding, the 6 here, we're going to leave it alone. Now remember, we're going to drop everything behind here we're going to just recopy everything we've got in front. And so, rounded to the nearest tenth, we have 2,158 and 6/10, or 2158.6, as a lot of people would like to say. So this is a quick review of rounding decimal numbers and how all that works. Now you pop into your exercise, do the practice problem that's right there. In fact, you may want to do several versions of that practice problem. You may want to hit similar exercise and practice quite a bit. And I will see you next time.